hope for the flowers, a tale partly about life, partly about revolution, and lots about hope for adults and others, including caterpillars who can read. Words and Pictures by Trina, Paulus. Let's see if I set this down if you can see it a little better here. You can see Grammy's chin too, but that's okay. This is a good book. Let me see if I change the lighting a little bit so you can see the pictures. I believe in the power of story. We're all creating story all the time. I wonder if I can see. So the background by this, I've had this old gal, this friend, and I pull it out and I read it and I hug it. Stories have helped me tremendously. And I hope this will help you too, because we're all just trying to figure out we're all just walking each other home. Rumi says, "Are you, am I?" The great Sufi Rumi. He said, and I love this, and it helps. We are all just walking each other home. And if we could just see that when we see another human, whether they have combat boots or they've got everything strapped to them, bombs and everything else. My brother held up a mill one day. I mean, I know what's inside his heart. A very scared human being that has no idea what he's doing and is in the middle of a crisis, This is a lot to deal with, this world. And when you get your little bit of safety, maybe, your job is kind of helps you feel safe in the world. I don't have a job at this point, so it's to reorient myself with no job. And I worked steady Eddie for 30 years, putting myself through college and with kids. I mean, I didn't get my college degree at 18. It took me 20 years to get my college degree. But things like this and inspirational talks that Oprah would find inspirational people and different talks that I've heard along the way helped me to keep going to college. I drove through snowstorms to pass in papers back in the day. Wow. And I went to school pregnant. I hiked through the forests of Maine pregnant, more than one boy. I have 4 boys. And I did not get my degree it took me a long time. And finally all 4 boys were at my graduation. And yeah, all 4 boys were at mom's graduation. And what I believed as a mother was, when I had my children, I believed that I couldn't give them money. I knew I couldn't give them money. And I couldn't even give them our own house at first and our own yard. But I could give them me. Absolutely. My attention, focus, energy, enthusiasm, that we could start every moment over. If we've had a little mess here, we can put our heads together and we can clean it up. And I never learned. I grew up being hit, and I was lucky to get this job when I was 19, and I worked in a home with developmentally delayed adults, and it was the best parenting course for me I could ever get. The best social course I could ever get. I needed more. I mean, I'm still growing with people, but definitely as far as parenting goes. And one of the first jobs I had, other than working in a pizza joint or bagging groceries, where I had trainings and such, was working with developmentally delayed adults in a place called Franklin Heights in Farmington, Maine. And I loved that job so much. I loved Special Olympics. I loved all of it. It was like This is fun. This is real fun. We're not worried about what we look like. We're just here to have a good time, rock out, and who cares? Who friggin' cares about any of the garbage? As you grow and you get on the bus and you go on to life, it's like you go from being a carefree, and I wasn't exactly carefree when I was 5, but they start loading it on, and the worries start, and being separated from mom. I'm still not over being separated from mom. It's true. So here I am. Good morning. I'm going to read and share and the reason I overshare is for all you gals out there that, might be going through the same thing. We're not children. We're women. Women are equal to women. And I think there's a conversation we all need to have with ourselves about the way we let people walk on us, the way we allow it, the way we walk on ourselves. I don't walk on myself anymore. Good morning. This is a Maine LL Bean shirt because I'm from Maine. We wear LL Beans sometimes. I got this on a yard sale for $1. I'm so poor. Come over and let me sell it to you for $3. I don't know if that light helps. Put the light on so I can see though. How about we do a little of this? I want you to see the good pictures. Trina Paulus also does the pictures, so I just gotta have a better light. I gotta work on my Steven Spielberg's camera moves. Probably won't happen. Hope for the Flowers. Woo! This is so old. I've had this book since I was, 19. Thank you, Dr. Missbach. And this came out in 1972. I would have been in first grade. She says, and she writes like I like to write stanzas. My thanks to everyone all over the world who has helped me believe in the butterfly. This is a tale of a caterpillar who has trouble becoming what he really is. It's like myself, like us. Love, Trina. And then it's dedicated to the more of life, the real revolution, and then to my father who believed in it. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, a tiny striped caterpillar burst from the egg, which had been home for so long. Hello, world, he said. It sure is bright out here in the sun. I'm hungry, he thought, and straight away he began to eat the leaf he was born on, and he ate another leaf, and another, and another, and got bigger and bigger and bigger. I have a dog looking at me like I better let her out. Let me just let her out. What if I do that? Not yet. Oh, Anna. It's raining, Anna. Go pee. It's raining. Holler at me. Annie's the best dog ever. I never have to hitch my dog. She's so cool. Until one day he stopped eating and thought, there must be more to life than just eating and getting bigger. It's getting dull. Hi, Moose. Moose is on the moose. So Stripe crawled down from the friendly tree which had shaded and fed him. He was seeking more. There are all sorts of new things to find. Grass and dirt and holes and tiny bugs. Each fascinated him. But nothing satisfied him. When he came across some other crawlers like himself, he was especially excited. But they were so busy eating, they had no time to talk, just as Stripe had been. They don't know any more about life than I do, he sighed. Then one day, Stripe saw some crawlers really crawling. He looked around for their goal and saw a great column rising high into the air. When he joined them, he discovered, you gotta let Annie in just a sec. He discovered, what is he going to discover? Annie, come on in, lady. He discovered Annie. No. He discovered the column. Annie wants to listen. The column was a pile of squirming, pushing caterpillars. A caterpillar pillar. It appeared that the caterpillars were trying to reach the top. See it? But the top was so lost in the clouds that Stripe had no idea what was there. He felt new excitement, like sap rising in the spring. Maybe I'll find what I'm looking for. Let's see. Full of agitation, Stripe asked a fellow crawler, "Do you know what's happening?" I just arrived myself, said the other. Nobody has time to explain. They're so busy trying to get wherever they're going up there. But what's at the top? Continued Stripe. No one knows that either, but it must be awfully good because everybody's rushing there. Oh, goodbye. I've no more time. He plunged into the pile. Stripe's head was bursting with a new drive. He couldn't get his thoughts together. Every second, another crawler passed him and disappeared into the pillar. There's only one thing to do. Do you see it? He pushed himself in. Chapter 2. The first moments on the pile were a shock. Stripe was pushed, kicked, and stepped on from every direction. It was climb or be climbed. Stripe climbed. No more fellow caterpillars on Stripe's pile. They became only threats and obstacles, which he turned into steps and opportunities. This single-minded approach really helped, and Stripe felt he was getting much higher. But some days it seemed he could only manage to keep his place. It was especially then that an anxious shadow nagged inside.